Hello, parents. My name is Tracy Plime, and I'm a fourth grade teacher. This video is here to help you understand a little bit about math, specifically how we grade tests, as well as some of the resources that students have available for this year. Okay, everything's going a little bit slower than normal. There we go. Okay, so here's an example of one of our tests. This is our first unit test, which again was a review. So some of the skills were third grade, some of them were fourth grade. The very top portion of each test is going to be for the parents. Many of you are understanding of the traditional way of scoring things. So looking at the total and the percent, that's something that I know a lot of parents can relate to. So that's why we put that on every test. As a teacher myself, the part that I'm really looking at is this bottom portion, which is the standards-based portion. Standards are things that the state of Minnesota has identified that we need to be teaching throughout the year so that your third or your fourth grader is ready to move on to fifth grade. And so that's what we're focused on, is making sure they understand those concepts. The standard here, each of these is a standard. It starts with the grade level. So this 3 at the beginning means it's a third grade skill. This is a review from third grade standards. So this first one, use place value to describe whole numbers between 1,000 and 100,000. That's the first one. Here's another third grade skill, 3.1.1.4. 3121, and then here is the first one that actually gets into fourth grade standards. This is 4125, and then 4115 is the very end. You may notice that this one happens to be bold. That tells us as a teacher, and hope perhaps you as a parent, that this is a priority standard. So what that means is that our district has identified this as one of the most important things that the state has asked us to do. And so these are the skills that roll into our report card. So these other skills, they might get a 3 or 2 or 1, and it doesn't matter on our report card. It doesn't roll into the final grade. This one, the bolded one, does. Okay. The next thing I want to share with you is what these 3s, 2s, and 1s mean. The top score that they could get is a 3. That means it's secure. The student is secure in that understanding of that concept. So place value. They are secure. They got it. That means by the end of the year, even right now, they have the correct skills and ability to be able to do that thing. A 2 would be more a developing. That means that there might be things that they still need to work on, but they do have some ability in that area. So with addition, subtraction, maybe they got both of the addition problems correct, but both of the subtraction incorrect. So that would tell us, well, they've got some work to do on that. They know how to add, but don't know how to subtract. Or maybe they got one of each wrong. If a student were to get a 1, that would be a beginning score. So that means they're at the very beginning of understanding when it comes to that skill, like solving multi-step word problems. That would be, in this case, this student got a 1. So each of these portions at the top correlate to a portion of the test. So you see the 3112 here. That goes down with this section 3112. And that's this. And then we have a new section here where it's 3114 and then 3121. Those are all different portions or sections of our test. That helps us to kind of identify or group the concepts so we know how students are doing overall on those ideas. So hopefully that makes sense. Each test is going to be very similar to this. It might have more or less standards in there, but overall, that's how we do the grading. At the bottom of every one of my tests, I usually have a -0, -1, -2, and that's how many questions or points they got wrong on that page. That just helps me total it. Let's say that a student did not do well in the test, or you see that they're struggling on a concept. So if let's say they got a 1. A 2 would mean they probably are going to be fine if they just continue to work hard in class. We'll review things. If you want to review things, that's fine. But a 1 would say that they're going to need some help at home too. So if you're wanting to do that, we as a fourth grade have bought a resource called IXL.com. Your students' login information should be in their planner, or their folder should be taped in there. And what IXL is an awesome opportunity for them to get additional practice. So they would go to ixl.com and type in their username and password at the top. And then they would have access to everything, every math skill, I should say. So let's go back. The student that was struggling, they struggled with 4.1.1.5, which was multi-step word problems. So a couple of ways that you could access that as a parent. There's a little search bar up here. I could type in multi-step word problems and then just search. And hopefully the internet's going fast enough, it'll bring it up quick. On the left side of this are going to be a few different options. One is to be able to do it by grade level. So I'm going to click on 4th grade because that's what they're doing. And here are different skills that they can practice. I'm going to do this one, N1, which is multi-step addition and subtraction word problems, which is what they did in class. And so the student would have access to these problems. The problems always start at the easiest level and work their way up as students are getting them correct. So by the end, the numbers are going to be bigger. There might be more numbers to add or subtract. It's going to be more of a challenge for them. So here's an example of N1 and what that would look like. Another way you'd be able to get there, I'm hopeful, I don't know if this is just a teacher view, but if you hover over learning and go to Minnesota State Standards, I hope you have this access, and then click on it. It then breaks it down into different subjects. You're going to want to click on the math one that's located right here. And then, or you can hover over it and then click 4th. What it then will bring up is all of the 4th grade standards, all of the things that we're going to be teaching throughout the year, and it breaks it down by the different skills within that standard. So again, the one we're focused on is 4115. This one's 4111, so I'm going to keep scrolling down. There's 2, there's 3, here's 4114, and here's 4115. So here are the different skills that I could have my child work on at home too. I would start at the beginning, so addition, subtraction, and then work my way up to additional skills. So that's an example of IXL. Again, each student should have their login information in either their planner or their folder. It should be taped right there, how to log in. Make sure that they log in so that they are accessing everything that IXL has to offer. Another resource that we have available this year is something called ST Math. We had it last year too, but students may not have been able to get in. To do that, they'll go to clever.com and then they'll click on login as a student. And mine is going to show a teacher view. Theirs will bring up specifically what it looks like for the teacher, or sorry, as a student. So here are different apps and things that they have access to. There's that IXL that I just talked about. Down below at the very bottom is ST Math. I would click on it, but it would bring me to another teacher viewpoint of it. Essentially, they're solving problems without words. They're just pictures, and they have to identify what to do to get Gigi, the penguin, across the screen. So where IXL is very pointed, we can identify the skill that we worked on in class, like subtraction or adding fractions or finding the area of a triangle. ST Math is more broad. It's all 4th grade level stuff, but it's random. It doesn't give you access to a specific thing that you want. So that would be additional practice that they could do. The last thing that I want to share with you is I'm noticing that I didn't show you any of that. So I'm going to go back real quick, clever.com. They're going to log in as a student. And then within pages, there's the district page. Again, theirs should just come right up, but there's ST Math at the very bottom. So they click on that and it should bring them in. One more thing that I want to show you, and this is new this year, is within Google Classroom. Myself and another teacher in 4th grade, Ms. Pansari, have been creating videos for students, math extension videos, so videos for students to be able to go above and beyond 4th grade level work. So these are targeted for students who are doing very well in the pre-tests and seem to know a lot of the concepts. This is a way for us to be able to extend to what they are able to do in class. So I'm now at the Math Extension site. To be able to access the lessons, they just come over and they don't even have to click, but just drag. And now we have, in this case, Unit 2 has 7 different lessons that students can watch. So the first one I'll pull up, and then they'll click on the title, and that will bring them over to YouTube to watch a video of either myself or Ms. Pansari. There may be...
Hello, students. My name is Mr. Plime.
It's an example.
And I'm excited to start.
So it's a video that goes through the concept, how to do it, and then eventually gives them some IXL or other skills to be working on so that they would be able to push themselves in their learning in class. Okay, I think I got to everything today. The tests, yes. If you have any questions, please reach out to your child's teacher, whether it be on the grading, the resources. We're happy to help you. That's part of our jobs, to make sure that you're aware of them and that you're able to access them. I know that some have struggled to be able to get online at home using their Clever Badge. Hopefully your teacher will give you the login information. So if the Clever Badge isn't working for Google Classroom, for instance, they'd be able to access it in a different way. So if you have any questions, please let your teacher know. We're happy to help you in any way. So thank you for watching, and hope this made sense and helped.